May I have the parties identified?
Julie Panger with the department, also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Sylvia Torres and Permanency Supervisor Lori Smith.
Linda Ebling, for the mother, I am present. She was on. I don't know if she got bumped off or what, but she was here just a minute ago.
Jim Shaw representing the father.
Okay, Lindsay Murray is our attorney and guardian ad litem. All right, tell me how they're doing. Where are they currently placed?
Hi, yes, good morning, Your Honor. Evan and Killian are placed with Jennifer and Patrick on Bargo in Lubbock, Texas.
Jennifer, the mom?
Jennifer, foster parent.
Oh. Okay. How are they doing in that home?
So they are both doing very well. I just went to go see them last week, and they're full of energy, love being with their foster parents. They love watching Paw Patrol. Evan is in preschool. He is doing well. He is receiving speech therapy there once a week in a group setting. Killian attends a We Care daycare and is also thriving there. They both love being read books too. So foster mother Jennifer has let me know that they read to them every night. They love just looking through children's books, and they do take care of the books very well. Overall, medical wise, Evan completed his well check because he just had a birthday on the beginning of December. So he had a well check on December 6th. No concerns other than him feeling he had a little illness, like a little cold. Killian completed his well check on October the 25th. No concerns there as well. They both completed dental checkups on the 21st of November, where Evan had to come back for a follow-up. He had to get a cavity filled, and that was completed on November 28th. Neither one of them are on any kind of medications. They're doing well in therapy. They do attend play therapy with Dr. Wilbanks. That is completed every other week. There has been some concern with both of them. They kind of experience some separation anxiety, thinking that their foster parents are going to leave them there. So they have to cut the sessions a little short because Killian's always asking where Patrick's at or where Jennifer's at. But overall, Dr. Wilbanks did say that they are doing well.
Okay, what is the purpose of the play therapy?
Play therapy, so they have them after the evaluating them just to help with the emotional difficulties. Evan does get angry a little bit sporadically. He does get easily frustrated, so they're working on that. And with Killian, it's just emotional difficulties, the separation anxiety and stuff like that they're working on with him.
Okay. When were we placed in this foster home?
So they were placed the beginning of October. So they've been there for about 2 months.
Okay. Is it a long-term placement if we need it to be?
We're hoping. They are willing, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Eveline, any concerns regarding the children on behalf of your client?
I think the only concern we would have, Your Honor, is I think this is either the fourth or the fifth foster placement that they've had during the case. So I think some anxiety is to be expected. So other than that, I don't think we have any concerns about their care or treatment.
Mr. Shaw, any concerns on behalf of Mr. Hale?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Tell me about Ms. Cullison's progress in services.
So yes, she is completing services. So we did get her partnered up with our parent support worker, and St. Francis was able to help her get a job. So she's at a nursing and rehabilitation facility. Appears to be doing well at the facility. Last time I did verify employment, and they said that she was doing well. We're also working with her as far as budgeting and understanding how to, create a savings account. Jennifer doesn't really comprehend or seem to comprehend budgeting and is not able to count money. So we're working on her with that. She has not been able to start a savings account to initiate or try to get her own place since she still is living with her father. As far as trying to or letting us know what she's doing with her money, she's not able to justify what she's doing with her money. And we do have her parent-child visits. They're being completed every other weekend on Saturdays. So we do have 2 different family support workers who transport the boys to her in Odessa for a 2-hour visit.
Is she going to counseling?
She is completing counseling with Cynthia Bowen Burns. Yes.
Okay. What does Miss Bowen Burns think about her progress?
Overall, she seems to be doing well, progressing well, gradually.
Okay. Are there any services that Miss Collison needs to be participating in right now that she is not?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Eveline, anything to add as far as Miss Collison's progress?
Yes, Your Honor, I would agree that she's done everything that and worked hard on everything that she's been asked to do from the very beginning of the case. I still don't have any understanding of what St. Francis's objection is to her living with her father. I'm not aware from anyone that there are objections to the conditions of that home. It would be possible to have beds in the home for the children. So I really would like some explanation about that. As far as the job is concerned, she does have a job. Pushed her hard to get a job, and she's done that. My understanding is that someone with St. Francis recently told her that she needed to get a better job because that was not making enough money. So it's hard to know what they want. There was also a meeting, maybe a week or maybe a week before last, in Odessa in connection with the other case. Family group conference, I believe is what it was. My understanding is that these workers on this case participated in that meeting. I was not notified about the meeting. When I talked to Ms. Painter, she didn't know anything about the meeting either. And I'm still working on finding out exactly what went on at that meeting. So other than that, that's the housing thing is my biggest question. I just don't have an answer for that. And Ms. Bowen Burns would give her a very favorable report as far as counseling because I do talk to her about that.
All right, Ms. Torres, what is the problem with the maternal grandfather's home?
I believe occupancy with her children.
Explain that to me. What is the problem with placing the children with the mother in the grandfather's home? What's the concern?
I believe it's a 2-bedroom home. So we were, of course, with her other children, if she was to be reunified with them, just the amount of space for all of the children.
Judge, there are also ongoing concerns about mom's ability to take care of the kiddos. It's not just the home in and of itself. I don't know that there are concerns with mom living in that home. I'm not aware of that. There are 2 adults, Miss Collison's dad and Miss Collison's adult brother live in the home and live in the 2 bedrooms. It's my understanding that Miss Collison lives in the living room, sleeps on the couch. But at this point, the concern with the boys moving in is not necessarily with a safety issue in the home so much. There are certainly concerns with space, but it's the ability of the mom to take care of the children as per the issues that caused the department to ask the children to be returned to care during the monitored return.
Okay. All right. Tell me about Mr. Hale's progress and services.
Yeah, so right now, Mr. Hale has not been able to complete or any of other services that is needed of him. He is still at the Lynn County Detention Center.
What are the charges?
I believe it's domestic violence.
All right, Mr. Shaw.
Judge, my client was current on these services before the arrest, so I don't know what else they want him to do. But last time I talked to him, he had not talked to his attorney, so he did not have a court date.
Okay. Ms. Torres, are there some parenting packets or anything like that we can get to Mr. Hale in jail there that he can be working on while he's incarcerated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let's do that as much as we can. Okay, anything else with respect to the permanency hearing? All right, the final hearing, Ms. Penger.
Judge, excuse me, at this time, the department is asking for a brief 1-month reset for the final hearing. There has been pretty significant interaction between the primary permanency specialist in this case and the parents, and she is out on FMLA leave right now. And so the department would ask for a brief reset to be able to make sure that all the necessary parties or witnesses would be available to testify. In addition, it's my understanding that Ms. Cullison has another, I think, a hearing on her other case this morning. That's the department's position and request, Judge.
Okay. We'll talk about the date here in a minute, but Ms. Eveline, any objection to a reset of today's hearing?
No, I do agree to a reset, but I would ask for a longer reset. I know we probably have some updated discovery that needs to be done that I don't have. Plus, I'm not sure what date we'd be talking about, but we'll get back to that in a minute.
Mr. Shaw?
No objection.
And I'm assuming since Ms. Murray's not here, she would be in agreement with a reset. And she did send an email saying she was in agreement with a reset.
Yeah.
Here's the issue, Ms. Penger. I'm certainly not inclined to grant a very long continuance. These kids have been in care almost 2 years now. We've got to get some permanency for these children. They deserve that. And I want to do this final hearing, and I really wanted to do it today, but I certainly understand if the worker can't be present, and that's nobody's fault. So I'm okay with the 1-month reset, but it kind of depends on what the parties plan to do in Ashcroft.
Yes, ma'am. I think we don't have anything worked out yet. I'm hopeful that we have a date on the mediation, but that has not happened yet. I'm hoping that it might be able to happen next week. So there's nothing worked out on that yet, Judge.
Okay. I don't think it would be a good idea to put this hearing on the same day as Ashcroft if Ashcroft is going to be contested. So I'm going to reset this final hearing and set the next permanency hearing to February the 16th at 9. Permanency and final, February 16th at 9.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Also, it's my understanding that the father's wife's criminal trial was set in October, but it got reset. Do we know when she might be going to trial?
March the 25th.
Yeah, I don't want to wait that long. Okay, February 16th at 9. Anything else?
No, Judge.
Ms. Mendieta and Mr. Cruz, the parties identified.
Julie Painter with the department. Also present is FBSS worker Gia Hamilton.
Jim Shaw representing the parents.
Leanne Fouts, attorney ad litem.
Okay, tell me how parents are doing in services this month.
We had a really good joint visit at the first of the month. I was in the home 2.5 hours. They seemed very transparent in answering the questions, seemed to be participating well. And since then, it's just been a whole different story. I have not been back in the home. I did text mom on December 4th and ask about daycare. She said during the joint visit, she said her GED teacher is going to set it up for her. I followed up on December 4th. She said that she needed help with it. I said, let me call you in the morning. And she said she'd call me. I did not hear back from her. December 7th, I attempted to get in the home with my coworker who would be offering the in-home parenting. And mom denied us coming in the home because it would be 3 women coming in the home. And she was not okay with us being around her husband. So we did not get in the home on that day. On Friday, December 8th, I asked if I could do a visit on Saturday, and she responded, nope. And on December 12th, I tried to get in the home, and she agreed to meet with me. But then she texted me the following morning at 6:42 a.m. saying that she has to do homework and I would need to move the appointment to the afternoon. Judge, I was not able to do it because of my schedule. And I got notified that the judge said I had to work around her schedule on that. And then I rescheduled for December 14th. to go out. She agreed to that visit and then texted me she had stuff to do, so I needed to come later in the day. Again, I cannot adjust my schedule. And I just politely said, part of me being in the home is part of the court order. And she said she understood that, but again, she said the judge stated I had to work around her schedule. So I have not seen or been in the home since the joint visit. She is good to schedule with us, but when it's time for us to go in the home, she'll cancel, early appointment. She is working on her GED, and I understand that, but this is just my own belief. I think CPS and your kids take a little priority over doing homework. She's not working. I don't know if dad is working at this time. She mentioned he had strep. It's just no participation. And on St. Francis, I know that they just got a new worker. The previous worker attended multiple times. I'm going to probably estimate 4 to 5 times a week to get in the home. She was allowed in the home this last Monday to assist with the light bill. After that meeting, mom sent her a text that she forwarded to me stating she is done doing assessments because she feels like we're treating her horrible and treating her husband like royalty. And I feel like she made allegations her husband using drugs. She said, I'm not the one using drugs. So there is no court-ordered drug test on this case, but there is a concern with mom's statement that he possibly could be using drugs.
Okay, from St. Francis, Family Center Treatment folks, tell me about your interaction with the parents this month.
At the request of them, I have been recently added to this case, put on this case. I spoke with them last night. They seemed willing to participate. We're excited to participate with me. I am meeting with them today at 1 o'clock. That is the scheduled time I am to meet with them. In the past, the past worker has had issues getting in the home, as the TFF worker stated.
Okay, where are the children?
They are at the home with mom and dad.
All right, Mr. Shaw, anything to add on behalf of your clients?
Well, yeah, they're overwhelmed with all these people trying to come into the house. Their understanding was that they were going to have one person coming in during the week. Instead, they've got 3 or 4 people showing up at the house trying to come in the house while my clients are trying to not only work, but trying to get through school. And in addition, the whole thing in the beginning was that they indicated to the court that they had these different things as far as school and everything. And the court specifically said that they would work around their schedule. Now they're not working around their schedule. It's either our way or no way. And that's not going to work.
Ms. Fouts?
That's not my interpretation. My interpretation is they've been in one time. And, one of the issues with them has always been the condition of their home. So it's very concerning to me that they claim that it's interfering with their schedule, but I don't know what schedule they're talking about because they've only allowed them in one time. And I don't know, maybe James will have more luck tomorrow. I was really hopeful that this was going to be the right program for them, but it's only going to be the right program for them if they cooperate and allow people in the home to help them. So rather than treat them as it being invasive, they need to, they need to be more open to the help. And I thought they were going to, but I'm getting really concerned this might not work.
Yeah, me too. The agreement on a TFF case is 4 hours in the home with the parents, with these workers. And if they don't want to do it, Ms. Panger, you just need to staff for something different.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you,
I
Judge.
would say if they don't make that meeting today, that's very concerning. And Ms. Panger, I would expect y'all to be staffing for a removal.
Yes, ma'am.
They're not here. That's concerning. They're not meeting with these workers. That's concerning. They knew from the get-go that it was going to be 4 hours of time in the home. And if they're not letting it happen, then you got to make sure these babies are safe.
Yes, ma'am. And Judge, I do want to add that it's, based on the testimony, there have been numerous attempts to work with them on scheduling to go within their schedule, and then they're backing out of that. And so I think I think both the FBSS worker and St. Francis worker are diligently have been trying to work around their schedules. But we'll follow up with Mr. Villanueva today to see how that goes, see what we're able to do. Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Villanueva, is that 1 o'clock meeting today in their home?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Mr. Shaw, I don't know your availability at 1 o'clock today, but I think
I
maybe
won't be there.
Okay. Even by phone or anything like that?
I'm on the road.
Okay. I think it's really important that these parents get the message from this court today that if they're not going to meet with you today and they're not going to accept the help, they're not going to participate with the 4 hours in the home like the family-centered treatment needs, this is not going to work, and these babies are going to be removed if the home is not safe.
All right, I will make sure to relay that message.
Certainly want to give them every opportunity to participate in this program, because for the families who participate in it, it seems to be working. But the families have to let people in their home. They have to accept the help. And I hope these parents change their attitude in the next 3 hours.
I agree. Thank you, Judge Darnell.
Okay, I will set another compliance review hearing for these parents January the 19th at 9. But let me know, Ms. Panger, if we need to do something different.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Julie
All right,
Tanger
we'll
with the
be adjourned.
department, also present as St. Francis Permanency Specialist Frank Anguiano and Permanency Supervisor Dakota Miller.
Jim Shaw, attorney for the kids.
Ms. Hudman is also here. Ms. Hudman, are you there? Lost you. While we're getting Ms. Hudman, Ms. Panger, tell me the status of service on Ms. Hester.
We have a citation returned unserved, and so we are working on trying to get that served a different way or with someone different.
Okay, what about Mr. Segura?
We do not have any service reported on him yet.
And Mr. Mullins?
I don't have the return yet. I believe that we don't have that return. So I'm not even going to jump out and say what I think may have happened, but we will, if we are not able to get that done, we'll ask for substituted service, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Hudman, are you there? All right, Ms. Panger, what is the status of checking on the mother's possible Cherokee heritage?
We don't have anything returned on that. So the way that works is we can
I
send
am
it.
here. I just can't figure out my phone right now. So sorry. Keep going.
Thanks, Sarah. We have sent a letter out to, in general, Cherokee. I can tell you that from past experience, the likelihood is they're going to ask for something more specific on that. And I think Frank has worked on getting some more specific information on that, but it's difficult when it's just a generic tribe, because there are sub tribes within that. So we'll see what we can locate, but we do not have anything back yet to indicate Indian heritage.
Okay. All right, I think that takes up some procedural issues. All right, tell me about the children. Where are they currently placed?
Morning, Your Honor. The three older children, Patricia, Miles, and Grayson, are placed with their grandparents in Post, Texas, and the baby, Lily Grace, is placed in a foster home in Plainview.
Okay, let's start with the 3 older kids. How are they doing?
The 3 older kids are doing well. Carmen is a sophomore. She's 15. She is deep in basketball season, and Post is about to start district play, so she is plenty occupied and plenty busy. Miles is in 6th grade, and he is 12 years old, and he's playing basketball as well and trying out for a travel baseball team this weekend, so he's plenty busy as well. Grayson is 3. He is in Head Start. He is a very, very social child who has never met a stranger in his dang life, and also doing very well.
Okay, any sort of health concerns with those 3 kids?
Miles has some health concerns. He has some issues with his thyroid and low iron. That is, he is treated with levothyroxine, and that is closely monitored by his PA, Annalise Molina, in Tahoka. And he is doing well in the medicine. He has a blood test every 3 months for that. Miles is also taking several drugs for depression and PTSD, and Annalise Molina also monitors those drugs very closely as well. And he's doing well in all the medicines.
Okay. Any sort of academic concerns with Miles or Carmen? Are they making pretty good grades?
They're doing very well, Your Honor.
Okay. Beyond those sports teams, they need to be passing, so that's good.
Yes. And
Are they-
grandmother actually works in the post school system, so they are very closely monitored that way.
Good. Are they happy in grandma's home?
They're doing very well in the home. I am recommending that both older children go to therapy. My one concern is that there's been almost no disruption of their daily lives, which I know is the goal, but I expect there to be a little bit more disruption, and I almost think that they're just not be able to express that. So I would like them to see a therapist, just because they have been through a lot of things in their young lives, and they're going through a lot. So I am recommending that the older two do go to therapy, and they've agreed. And I asked them about that when I saw them this week, and they were both very amenable to that.
Sounds good to me. I think that would be a good idea, especially if we're on medications for depression and PSD. I think that's a good idea anyway. Okay.
We'll get going on those recommendations.
What about baby Lily? How is she doing in the foster home?
Baby Lily is doing very well. She is up to 7.35 pounds as of this week. She is sleeping a lot. She's up to 3 ounces every 3 hours on formula. She needs a bottle every 4 hours during the night. She's being well taken care of. She likes to conduct an orchestra when she sleeps with her hands. And she is ridiculously, appallingly cute.
Okay. Very good. Do we have a home study that's back on the grandmother yet?
It has been approved, yes, Your Honor.
Great.
And I'll just throw in, Judge, these kiddos have been with the grandmother, and even when living with moms, I think have spent quite a significant amount of time with the grandparents and have a really close relationship with her. So she's a big support and somebody we're very comfortable with.
Okay.
And Grayson and Granddad are attached at the hip as well.
Good. Is there a plan to place Lily there? Or are we planning to keep Lily in a foster home?
No, ma'am. Both mom and grandma have said that they want to basically give Lily up for adoption, and they don't want to replace with them at this time.
Okay. Do we have any placement options for Lily? Any relatives or friends?
None that I know of right now.
Okay. We'll talk to Ms. Hudman about that more in just a second. Mr. Shaw, any concerns regarding the children?
No additional concerns, but I would like a copy of the home study.
Okay. Ms. Hudman, well, let me ask, I think, yes, Ms. Hester, can you hear us? Patricia Hester.
Me? Okay. Yes, I can hear you.
Do you have any concerns regarding your children?
I do not.
All right. Carol Hester, can you unmute yourself? All right. Ms. Hester, do you have anything to add? You're the placement for the older three, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have anything to add as far as what Frank has said about the kids?
No, they're all doing well. I would like to add that both Carmen and Miles are AB students, and Carmen did make academic all district for volleyball this past season. So they're doing very well and very well adjusted. Again, they're used to being with my husband and I, and so there's no concerns there.
Okay, very good. Carmen's going to be 16 in March. Do we have her rocking and rolling in driver's ed or anything like that?
Yes, ma'am, we do. She is on the online ACEable program, and we're getting ready to finish that up, and she will be driving on her birthday. Hopefully she'll be passing that driver's ed test, and we're currently looking for a vehicle for her.
Okay, very good. Do any of the children need anything?
No, ma'am, they do not.
All right, Ms. Hudman, anything to add on behalf of your client?
Just a couple things, Judge. I know we haven't. Oh, are we just talking about concerns about the kids right now? We're not talking about Miss Hester's involvement?
Yes.
Okay, then no, everything's good. And no, my understanding is that the plan for Patricia is for the baby Lily to be adopted out.
Okay. All right. Tell me about Ms. Hester's progress and services at this point.
So Miss Hester has started. We're recommending her to therapy with Richard Gatlin. She's starting that on the 22nd. She has already started Mr. Gatlin's relapse prevention class, and she's enjoying that a lot. She raved about it. She had an OSAR assessment that she took last Friday. She is scheduled to start parenting classes in January. She is doing AANA classes every Thursday there in Post. We're asking her to do something as far as a career path. She says that she wants to go back to school to study to be an EMT. That would be agreeable to that part of the plan, and I believe her parents are on board with that. So we're asking her to do that. Her home is stable; it's owned by the family, and it is stable and secure, and not an issue right now. So she's off to a very good start, and I'm very pleased with her progress.
Okay, and other than what you just told me, are there any other services that we're asking Ms. Hester to do in this case?
Just that she stay in contact with St. Francis, that she would sign all releases. She'll be doing a psychological evaluation as well, and I believe that is scheduled for sometime this month as well, and a mental health evaluation as well. Ms. Hester is on several medicines herself right now, so we just want to make sure that those are the right ones for her, and that we get the right diagnosis so we can manage her mental health going forward. But like I said, I'm very pleased with her progress so far. She's taking this very seriously.
Good.
And also random drug testing. She did test positive for marijuana on her hair strand, but no other drugs on her hair strand, and her UA was negative.
All right, Ms. Hudman, anything well, let me ask you first, is there any issue with the plan of service?
No issue with the plan of service.
Okay, I will approve the plan of service for Ms. Hester. Anything to add as far as Ms. Hester's progress?
I'm very proud of her. She is taking this very seriously. She has experienced long periods of sobriety, and so we just need to make sure they're permanent now, or do our best to make sure that they're permanent. She has asked that, especially in light of the fact that her hair was negative for meth and her UA was clean. The marijuana, we hope, is just a residual effect that she's tackled her services, that she be allowed to attend her children's sporting events, because they're very involved in sporting events, and that also she be able to get some Christmas Day visitation.
We're fine with that, Your Honor. We just wanted to see her get started on her services and get that drug test back. So we're fine with that.
Great. Okay, very good. Tell me about our two fathers plan.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ms. Hester.
And then if I can maybe start going to their medical appointments with whoever, my mom or my dad, if they take them, if I'm allowed to go with them.
Yes, ma'am. You could always go to those. There's no problem with that.
That is true.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, Mr. Amiano, the father's plan of service. What are we asking our two dads in this case to do?
For Mr. Mullins, we're asking his plan is pretty identical to Miss Hester's plan. Mr. Mullins is currently residing in the Lubbock County Jail on charges of theft above $30,000. He's been there for several weeks now, and I haven't been able to make contact with him yet. I plan to in the next few weeks, but that's where he is residing, and he was listed as homeless when he was arrested by LPD. So obviously he would have a long way to go on any service plan. We were in the last few days. I did come into contact with Mr. Segura, who said that he is that he wants visits with Grayson, and he'd be willing to, and he also wants to take a paternity test. So so the first thing on his service plan would be to establish paternity, to take a drug test, to verify his employment and his housing, and also to take random drug testing and to undergo counseling as far as making sure that he's safe for Grayson to have visits with.
Miss Evelyn, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to appoint you to the two dads in this case, if you have a minute to pay attention to the rest of this hearing.
Okay, I will do that.
Mr. Mullins is the adjudicated father of our older two children in this case.
Yes, ma'am.
And then Mr. Segura, I think,
He's alleged
as to Grayson, the 3-year-old, and then we have an unknown father as to Lily. So we have 4 children. We have one adjudicated father, one alleged father, and one unknown father. and I'm going to appoint you to all three.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will approve the plan of service for Mr. Mullins, and then Mr. Segura. I'm going to approve his plan as well. Okay. Anything else?
Also, just making sure the older two children, Carmen and Miles, have indicated that they would like to visit with their baby sister, and we are going to be arranging those visits shortly. Let's talk to a therapist about that first. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
That I'm a little concerned about that. If the plan is for that baby to be adopted, I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that's a good plan.
Judge Darnell, can I step in?
Yes, ma'am.
My concern is because we had already informed St. Francis that we did not want the children to see Lily Grace just due to the fact that she was going to be placed in an adoption. And since those two children are under the age of 18, they sidestepped us and they blindsided us. When Frank was at the house, he then asked, without us being in the room or aware that the question was going to be asked, if the children wanted to see Lily Grace. So I'm a little concerned about that because we were left out of the loop after we had already, Patricia and I both said no.
Yeah, let's discuss the whole issue with the two old. These kids are old enough now that they should understand. They should have a voice in the matter. I agree with that, but I want to make sure that the therapist talks to them about adoption, what that means, the connection that might not be there after adoption. I just want to make sure the therapist addresses it with the children before we start any sort of visits. And
Yes, ma'am.
I will follow the therapist's recommendation as far as visits between the older children and the baby.
Yes, ma'am.
In other words, if the therapist feels like the older children can handle that possible separation, if she addresses it with them and feels like this is something that the kids understand, that baby's going to be adopted and that they might not have any contact after that. If she feels like they're old enough that they get that and are old enough to be able to handle that, I might be okay with a visit. If she feels like it's going to cause a whole lot of turmoil with those children, a whole lot more mental health concerns with them than they already have, and she's saying no to the visits, or he is saying no to the visits, then whatever the therapist recommends, I'm going to follow that recommendation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
And the kids may be mad at the judge for that, but I would be rather than be mad at the judge than mad at their worker or their grandma. So
Okay.
if you need to blame that on the judge, blame it on the judge. Okay.
And I did let them know that I would be asking the kids that the kids were. I was made to understand that they had the right to visit Lily if they wanted to. So I made that known to both mom and grandmother.
All right. Anything else?
Not from us, Judge.
Okay. I'm going to set this for an initial permanency hearing April the 19th at 9. Thank y'all. Let me have the parties
Thank you.
identified.
Thank you.
Julie Panger with the
Thank you.
department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Isabel Chacon, and Permanency Supervisor, Dakota Miller.
Sarah Hudman, attorney for mother Brenda Palacios.
Leanne Fouts, attorney ad litem.
Mr. Shaw is here for Mr. Guerrero. Okay. Tell me about the children. Where are they currently placed?
So the boys are placed in Humble, Texas at a foster home with Michael and Silver Brown. And then they're adjusting well. We did get recently approved home study for the boys to move back with Irene Guerrero, the grandma.
Okay. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Tell me how the boys are currently doing.
They're doing good. The baby's growing. He's officially 8 pounds. I know the parents are always laughing because he has big hands. He's really big. He's getting big. And then Nicholas, he's doing well. He's active. He's adjusted well there as well.
Okay. Both pretty small kiddos. Any sort of medical concerns with either one of them?
Not that we know of, no ma'am.
All right. I had ordered a paternity test as to the father and Sebastian. Have we done that yet?
We have not done it yet, but it's in the process.
What does that mean? Do we have it set?
We don't have it set, but I know I did send Terry the paperwork.
It's with the AG's office. We just don't have a date back from the AG yet. I've checked on that one.
Okay. Okay, and the home study is approved on the paternal grandparents. And there's also a cousin that lives in that home. Is that right?
I believe the sister lives in a home, but we have a cousin in another home that they wanted us to look into. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is the department planning to move the children to the grandparents' home?
Well,
Yes.
yes, and that's something that I had sent an email this morning. I haven't been able to. The other home study for Leando came in this morning at 8:15, so I haven't had time to read it. Do the parents have a preference? Like, we already have the approved home study on the grandma. I'm assuming they would want to go with grandma first, but I would like to know before we move forward.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Brenda Palacios, and I'm the mother. And my first preference would be with Grandma and Grandpa Guerrero.
Okay. Then we will get transportation and everything arranged, and the kids should be back next week.
Okay, thank you.
What about Mr. Guerrero? Do you have a preference? You're on mute.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'd like them to be with my parents.
Okay, so your preference would be to place the children with your parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, let's place with the spouse. Do you have a preference?
Grandmother, get them back here. I'm anxious to be able to see them in person.
Okay. All right, very good. Looking through my notes regarding that home study, from the adversary hearing, it's my understanding that the parents were living in an RV. Has that changed since the adversary hearing?
Yes, ma'am. They recently got an apartment in Lubbock.
Okay, and that was part of that home study being approved, I'm assuming?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Fouts, any concerns with the children?
I do not. I'm happy that they're going to be coming back here for before Christmas.
Okay. Ms. Palacios, any concerns with the boys?
I was just wondering if we're able to spend Christmas with the boys, because we might be here at my rehab facility. They might give us a pass for Christmas for a couple of hours. And I was just wondering if we would be able to do that as long as Irene and Monica Guerrero are present.
Okay. Do we have any problems with the grandparents supervising a Christmas visit for these parents?
No, as long as they text us when the parents arrive and text us when the parents leave.
And I think that would be good. I would be happy with that.
Okay, very good. Mr. Guerrero, any concerns with the boys? Okay, I think you said no, ma'am. You're on mute again. To get their voice
Judge,
back.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to have to jump off. I have reviewed the plan and I don't have any issues with the services that are being offered. I think they'll be good.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Cohn, what's on the parents' plan of service?
Okay, Brenda will just sign a release of information with Grace Manor. Brenda will maintain employment, so she is currently in rehab. So Brenda Palacios will maintain housing. Brenda Palacios will submit to random drug testing. Brenda Palacios will complete an OSAR assessment and follow any and all recommendations made by the provider. Brenda Palacios will attend and participate in NAAA meetings throughout the life of the case. Obtain a sponsor and complete a 12-step program. Brenda Palacios will participate in individual counseling. Brenda Palacios will complete parenting classes. Brenda will complete a psychological. Brenda will participate in the visitations with her children. Brenda will comply with each requirement of the original family plan of service and maintain contact with her caseworker.
Okay, and tell me what services she's at Grace Manor right now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, other than that, tell me, and I know Grace has some of these services wrapped around in their program. So tell me what Ms. Palacios is participating in right now.
So she is doing NAAA meetings. She has a sponsor. She's doing individual counseling and parenting classes. And then she does get on for every visit with her children. And she has signed a release of information.
Okay, Ms. Hudman, anything to add on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, I'm very proud of her for following through with getting into rehab. It's a very positive step.
I'm very proud of you too, Ms. Palacios. That's very good news. Ms. Hudman, any issues with her plan of service?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me about Mr. Guerrero's plan of service.
Okay, he will sign a release of information, any release of information. Sebastian Guerrero will maintain employment. Sebastian will maintain housing. Sebastian will submit to random drug testing. Sebastian will complete an OSAR assessment and follow any and all recommendations made by the provider. Sebastian Guerrero will attend and participate in NAAA meetings throughout the life of this case, obtain a sponsor, and complete a 12-step program. Sebastian will participate in individual counseling. Sebastian Guerrero will complete parenting classes. Sebastian will complete a psychological. Sebastian will participate in visitations with his children. Sebastian Guerrero will comply with each requirement in the original family plan of service.
Okay, tell me what Mr. Guerrero is working on right now.
So he does have employment. He does have the housing. A referral was sent for drug testing, and I'll be requesting him to go in pretty soon. He did tell me that he wants to go to NAAA meetings and post. I don't know if he started that yet, but I know he did mention that's where he wanted to go. A referral has been sent for Richard Gatlin for individual counseling. He is going to have a psychological done on December 19th. And a referral has been sent for parenting classes, and he does participate in all his visits with his children as well.
Okay, very good. Mr. Shaw, any issues with Mr. Guerrero's plan?
Mr. Guerrero, did you have anything else that you started?
No, sir. It's because at the moment we're still stripping at farmers. We're working 8 to 9s. We would have been done this week, but with this rain, it's pushed back. So we'll be done middle of next week, and then I can start all that for sure. And I'll start here in Lubbock since I live here in Lubbock. I only was going to try to go to post since I was living in Grassland.
I think he said that they're still stripping cotton, and it's they should be through shortly, and then he'll be able to get more involved in the services.
Okay, I'm perfectly happy with that. I'm glad y'all have something to strip. Okay, I will approve both plans of service for these parents, and it sounds like they have a good start going. So I'm pleased with both parents' progress so far. All right, I will set this for an initial permanency hearing April the 19th at 9.